I can drive the Silver Spring.
Recorded from Baltimore, Maryland, the Young Assholes.
Yeah, I'm like $100. Welcome to Young and the Restless. I'm Andrew.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Nick.
And sorry we've been gone for a little bit, but guess what? Still your champ! Still your champ!
Changed.
Ain't nobody taking this shit. Actually, something has changed.
What?
We have a draft winner.
Oh, we do.
So do you want to get into the draft, or do you want to do a recap?
Yeah, it's the draft. I can do
Okay.
Who won?
So, week 1, Swindle won with 16 points.
Doesn't matter now.
Week 2, I won. I won with 22 points. And then, for the pay-per-view, everything was doubled and everything was a stipulation match. Our boy Nicky Saracelli over here, in one night, 5 hours, 112 points with a total of 137. I came in second place with 71 points. And then Brian came in third place with 31 points.
Fucking bullshit.
Nick, how does it feel? You were like, you hated it when we were doing it. You're like, I'm gonna lose. And then,
Well, when you were picking your draft, were you thinking about SummerSlam?
I was picking for SummerSlam.
that's what I was. That's why I got
I should've
Goldberg
done that.
and like
Yeah.
stuff. And then I was like, well, if I get Belair, Bianca Belair, and Sasha Banks, no matter what,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get 16 points, like over a win or lose. And then Sasha Banks didn't show up, and Becky Lynch just fucking turned heel on everybody. So
Nobody had Becky Lynch, though, right?
No, because we didn't think she was going to come in. And then I'm trying to think here. What was your highest point? Was Charlotte Flair winning the title with 28 points?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then you had 20 points for Matt Riddle, 20 points for Randy Orton.
Oh, because that was a three-way, wasn't it?
No, because you get the 6 points for the belt and the 4 points for them winning.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, you kicked our asses. So next time we do it, if we do it, it was fun. It is a lot of watching wrestling when you do it.
It did make me enjoy watching wrestling a little bit more, but I was like I told you guys in the text, I was like, I can't do more than 2 weeks, especially as the commissioner, because I have to stay on top of shit. I was like, I'm watching SummerSlam at my girlfriend's house. She's not interested at all. And she's just like, can we watch AEW? Like, she loves Jungle Boy. But,
Oh, because his dad.
yeah. But
I said because he was handsome.
she also, what?
I said it was because he was handsome, but
Yeah.
that wasn't the reason.
Yeah, but I was just like, I don't know. But, and then also she just thinks it's a little more ridiculous than AEW, like the Luchasaurus, it's a dinosaur that wrestles.
Yeah.
That type of shit's aimed directly at her. Also, she loved going to MCW, just the ridiculous, I don't want to say the backwoodsness of it, but the backwoodsness of it. Just how there are people of all facets of life there. And it's just and she's just, it's not like when we went to the rodeo and it was a bunch of people from Baltimore and 2 rednecks. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot, all these people own horses.
Yeah, they're all rich.
But anyways, yeah, so that was a thing. So if we do another draft, I say we do 10 people instead of 15.
10 each?
10 each instead of 15.
Okay. Yeah,
because normally it's 10.
Because I feel like there was I had about 5 people that didn't get any points.
We were I'm looking here. You had Finn Balor, Tony Storm, Reggie. That was Swindle. Nick, you had Keith Lee, Kofi Kingston, and then I had R-Truth, Sasha Banks, and Cesaro. Yeah, so SummerSlam. Speaking of me at my girlfriend's house, she made nachos and we watched SummerSlam. I installed Peacock on her TV. That was the thing.
I sat on my couch and ate wings. Nick, what did you do?
I was at SummerSlam.
So that's your third of the big 5?
Yeah, the third one. I didn't eat anything because the Wi-Fi went down in the stadium, and the credit card machines never came back.
I also
heard
heard
it
the
was hell.
toilets were overflowing.
I took one piss.
Yeah, I guess if you're not drinking or eating anything,
It was
fuck
yeah.
it. Dude,
So
yeah.
how was it? Like
was
the
awesome.
atmosphere and all that.
Oh, it was fucking insane. It was packed. The stadium was crazy. It's a terrible setup for a stadium.
It's the Raiders Stadium, right?
Yeah.
The one, and then also wasn't it the same night as the UFC fight that was like going on down the street?
Yeah, it's
like
UFC fight was at like MGM.
yeah,
It's like the casino right across the street.
yeah. it's-
Jesus.
So it sucks because, I mean, one, it's a desert, so it's hot as dick.
In August.
In August, there's no parking lots because casinos take up all the parking.
Mhm.
And for some reason, I don't know why they didn't build a parking lot in the middle of the desert. but
Or a
they didn't,
garage.
and they didn't build
Like,
anything.
yeah.
So you got to walk, and there's only one walkway. So you got to go to the casino that the walkway is at, and then walk to it. So I mean, it was just. I sent you that video.
Yeah.
It was just 50,000 people trying to cross this fucking bridge.
Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
nuts. I couldn't deal with
And then
it.
I heard like the Uber situation was terrible because the Ubers had to go. You got to go like around the city because the strip. You got to go like outside and around.
Yeah, there's nowhere because
Oh,
there's
that's
like
right.
a wall in the there's a
Yeah,
wall in
there's
the
that
middle
wall
of
in
the,
the
of the
middle.
street.
Yeah, I totally
and
forgot.
it's a fucking highway.
Yeah.
It's not like
And they can only wait outside the hotels for so long.
So long.
Yeah.
So like I heard it was just a miserable experience.
yeah.
Fucking hate
Where did
this.
you stay?
We stayed at the Luxor, the Pyramid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you win?
So I won like $500.
Nice. Yeah.
Solid day.
Yeah.
Becky and I are going to we're going to see a movie at Cinemark for my birthday, and then we're going gambling
Nice.
afterwards. Like,
Fuck yeah. Hit that casino.
Yeah, but what was like your top 3 favorite things from the whole trip? Like
Like besides SummerSlam,
let's do top 3 things from not SummerSlam. Top 3 wrestling things you did.
okay. So I went and saw David Copperfield.
How was that?
It was pretty terrible.
Okay. Do you want to tell the people who you were supposed to see?
I was supposed to go see Penn and Teller,
That sounded great.
and
I've seen
then
them.
an hour or two before the show, they just canceled a week's worth of show, probably COVID related. So we were like, "Fuck it, let's see what other shows we got." And our options were like David Copperfield, Chris Angel.
I would have seen Chris. I would have
That
gotten
could've been
mind
cool.
freaked, dude.
Yeah, Dan didn't want to go see Chris Angel.
Okay.
I probably would have rather seen Chris Angel than David Copperfield or Carrot Top. Carrot Top was our last choice.
Yo, I would have seen that motherfucker's got so much plastic surgery. He got them buff ass muscles, like, fucking, like pulling out things, just being like, "Hello." Like, they call me Carrot Top because I have a huge carrot. Like, like fuck. I don't know.
So we went and saw David Copperfield.
Okay, top 3 wrestling things.
So I found this bar called Nerd, and it's a
No one ever really dies. NERD.
maybe yeah.
That's
It's
Pharrell's
like
rock group.
Pharrell's group, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that's
But
what it stood for.
it was like it was a wrestling kind of nerdy comic book esque themed.
Oh, is that what had all the cases in it? that you said?
Yeah, it was
Gotcha,
cool. And it had like 3 bowling alley lanes. Had an arcade. It was really super cheap, and it had a bunch of wrestling memorabilia.
Did they have
and
Star Wars Battle Pod?
They did not. It was more old school.
Gotcha. Okay, I still would have just been like, "You boys go enjoy summer wrestle." Like, I'll be
That was
over
cool.
here.
What else was cool? I mean,
Did anyone offer you drugs?
yeah.
I feel like that happens to me every time. Somebody's like, Coke. I'm like, no.
We got offered a lot of
Sketchball.
LSD.
I didn't know LSD was back in style, like, or at least out in the desert, maybe.
Never
Yes,
died.
yeah.
What were like your bottom things? Your least favorite things about the entire trip? Just lay it all out.
I mean, a lot of walking in Vegas.
Okay.
Thing I didn't like a lot. The people in front of me were pretty terrible.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you told us about like what were they doing that made it like terrible?
So they were just like talking over everything and like not really paying attention and just like shit talking literally everything's like, oh, that entrance was dumb. Oh, that's her tire sucks. Oh, look, it's the girls match. like jerking each other off anytime they said anything, and then like the match would end, you'd be like, oh my god, that was the most amazing match ever, and then they go back to like shit talking everything.
It's like, did you even fucking watch
They're
it?
not watching. They were like talking to each other and like having this like a jerk off fest with each other.
So remember,
I get what you meant.
Remember
I'm
when we
fucking
went
hating Marks now.
Retro Raw, Throwback Raw, and there were like those two older dudes sitting like diagonally from us, and you almost got into a fist fight with them.
Yeah,
so it was like that.
It was like that.
Yeah, gotcha. And then there's like a bunch of little kids behind us being like, "Oh man, I hope like Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes out." I'm like,
well, I feel like there's some fans who watch it like you watch it, right?
Sure,
Who enjoy the entire spectacle, the entire show, and just enjoy it. And then there's some people who get into just the dirt sheet aspect, just the fucking nitpicking, and that's what you fucking hate.
I hate nitpicking, and that is I do. Like,
and you have mentioned before like how you hate like the negativity of like the dirt sheets and stuff like that. I don't mean to air your
No.
dirty
I
laundry.
don't care.
Yeah, but like for example, like when I'm like reading like Wrestling Observer or like like Ringside News or something, I'm not going into the dirt sheet side of it. Like I don't care about these people's like shit. I just want to know who's injured and like.
But there's a lot of people who will watch it or read it and be like, okay, they think this sucks, so I'm gonna hate it, without actually giving it a good, honest opinion for themselves on what they actually want to enjoy.
Yeah, so like I was like that when I first got back into wrestling, and then like I was like, man, fuck Randy Orton, like I fucking hate Randy Orton. All these fucking people hate Randy Orton, and now I'm like, Randy Orton's kind of grown on me. Like he's like that. He's like the main event Dolph Ziggler. Like he's like your go-to. Chris Jericho isn't there anymore, buddy. Well, so you gotta.
I mean, like again, like I don't.
You also don't like
me as a fan doesn't like Randy Orton, but me as someone who likes wrestling can appreciate how good of a wrestler Randy Orton.
That's what I'm trying to
is.
say. Yeah, exactly. Like like that's you said it better than me. Like, but like I mean, as I get older, I kind of just enjoy it for what it is, which is just a soap opera with athletics, and just being like. I like to see where the story's going, and like even since I was a little kid, I think it's because I grew up poor. Like we didn't have a lot of money to go to like Disney World, so I would go to the library and get like all these books on Disney World and like read everything. And that's how I knew about the feral cats. And when we went to Disney World,
it's true.
We saw feral cats. So like, and I was just like,
still didn't believe it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like that's why I kind of enjoy like being like. Oh man, like CM Punk's gonna debut this Friday, and like get all fucking amped up, and then I swear to God on Rampage when I heard the, I was like, this is gonna be MJF, dude. Like,
I was stoked for that, man. I was excited that they actually like kind of let it leak and let people think that he was coming, and they hyped it up and they killed it.
Yeah,
I'm stoked CM Punk's back.
Yeah.
And so I said last night that he looked very thin and skinny. And then there was a photo online today of him and Christian Cage standing next to each other, and I was like, okay, he's not that skinny. He's like a little bit smaller than Christian Cage.
I think the thing is that he's more like trim now than he was. Like
I think he's lost a lot of muscle.
I feel like towards the end of his WWE career, he kind of just was like so depressed that he just didn't really care. And then when you saw
he cut a lot of weight for UFC too.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna get to. Is like, and then you see him in UFC, and you're like, this dude's a fucking twig. Like, not really, but he's like a muscular twig. He could definitely kick my ass.
Since we're on that topic,
when you just roll with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will say, a lot of people know I'm not the biggest AEW fan, but I think the way that they did that was perfect.
Yes, like I liked that they dedicated a quarter of an hour, 15 minutes out of an hour show to just let him essentially create a new pipe bomb. Like he had the whole thing where he was sitting cross-legged, like I thought the whole presentation was great. I love the rush of emotions that I sent you guys the video and I sent it to people that don't even like wrestling. The crowd was so loud you couldn't hear his music, and then he's crowd surfing and stuff, and you're you can just see how happy he is to be back.
Well, I mean, it was smart to do it in Chicago. There will probably never be a bigger pop than that. His second pop was nowhere near as good
that
as
was
that.
in Milwaukee. Which is Chicago's neighbor. It's like us going to Philadelphia.
I thought it would have been a little bit better.
It was kind of disappointing, wasn't it? Because you were expecting it, and then the music hit, and you're like, I can barely hear anyone.
Yeah, but then the whole time he was like, "Oh, you guys are so loud." It's like, are they loud?
I think he was just kind of making a whole he's
He's good at that, making slight like offhand like comments.
Because I remember in WWE, he was really good at using the straight edge as being like a face or a heel. Like, I'm a good guy because I don't do drugs, and you shouldn't either, and that's what makes me better than the bad guys. And then when he was doing the straight edge society, he's like, I'm better than you because I don't do drugs and I don't drink. And I feel like that's what makes CM Punk really good, is he can talk shit on you and you're still just like, this guy rules.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, I just kind of like how they just like unleashed him and just like let him do. And I do have to say, both times that he came out, I had the biggest smile on my face. Like, it was just like, I was never a huge, like, I really liked CM Punk. I liked the summer of Punk and like all that kind of stuff. But like at the same time, like, I've never been so happy to see a wrestler like come back and just look so happy than I was when like Jon Moxley debuted at like AEW. Like, I was just like, holy shit! Like,
Yeah, because it's cool to see his love for wrestling come back.
yeah, and also that promo where he's like, I left professional wrestling like August 12th, 2005, and on August 21st, like 2021, I'm back, and I was just like, and then
Well, Moxie's not that good though.
yeah, I know. Let me like what I like, man. Like,
CM Punk's way better than.
but I'm just saying, like, CM Punk, like, when he said that, I was just like, ooh, fuck, like, that's crazy. What were your thoughts on it, Brennan?
I loved it. I thought the build up to it was awesome. I think Rampage was a perfect place to do it. The only problem with it was, after you watch Punk on TV for the first time, I didn't give a fuck about the rest of the show.
Oh yeah, I totally
like,
turned
that
it
was
off.
that.
I 100% turned it off after he's done.
Yeah, but I mean, I was stoked to see him come back. I'm excited that they're doing Darby Allin. I think that'll be a good program.
I also
for
like
both.
that he's. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
Nah, dude.
I like that they're using him properly. They're using him to push the smaller guys, kind of like what Chris Jericho did with Sammy Guevara, or like MJF initially, or like what Cody did with MJF. Like, they use like the established faces to push these like bigger guys, and it's like, I feel like that's like the perfect use of him, not having Matt Hardy wrestle OC for like the 15th time and get his fucking face busted open.
Yeah.
Like, what were your thoughts, Nick? You're not a huge CM Punk guy, and you're not a big AEW guy, but like, what were your thoughts? We enjoy everybody's opinion.
Yeah, I think going into it, I thought AEW was going to completely fuck it up, because they have a tendency to just, when someone's out there talking, 5 people randomly show up to cut everyone off for no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that they did it in the very beginning. He didn't have to say much. They just kind of let the crowd kind of handle it, and he was just like, I'm here. No one came out. They didn't really do anything, and then they more or less set up the next show's promo to kind of be like who he's actually going after. They kind of hinted at it with Sting and them in the rafters, but then
the meme that I made.
Yeah.
My dad's union friend getting us tickets to the CM Punk concert.
I mean, I'm weirdly, I think Darby Allin's a good wrestler.
I think he's great. You know, he's not my favorite style of wrestling, but
I mean, he's probably gonna kill himself. But
yeah, it's scary to watch
it's
sometimes.
very
man.
scary.
my man lives in his car. You know, that's a
I
thing.
think he still does.
He 100% still does. But like, I did think it was weird that Darby Allin wasn't wrestling on Rampage, and like the whole promos that they were showing on like Instagram was him leading like a Darby Allin skateboard army, like through the streets of Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought that was weird, personally.
Yeah, it's weird that he didn't wrestle, but he is like, I think he's a special attraction. I mean, you got to save him for certain events.
I'm glad he's not fucking wrestling the fucking Scorpio Sky and the other Christian Cage's brother. Or whatever, Ethan. Ethan Page. Sorry, it's not Ethan Cage, but yeah, they're all Adam.
The Pages, the Cages.
Yeah, you know, the ages, you know. But yeah, so I thought it was great. I also thought Dynamite last night was awesome too, like really in general. And then I was like explaining to Becky. So I have a bad time accidentally mansplaining because I get so excited about wrestling. I want everybody to understand what's going on. And I was like. Yeah, the Varsity Blondes, and she was like, the people we saw at MCW. And I was like, yes. I was like, they're wrestling the Lucha Bros, who are like one of the best like luchador tag teams ever. And then once I saw them, I guess I never really paid attention to them, and I just got all wrapped up in the hype. But they do the same thing that the Young Bucks do, where they're both in the fucking ring the whole time, and I'm just like, stop it! Like, it's called tag team for a reason. Like, I don't know. That's just my whole. That's my gripe. And then what Nick said, where like somebody's cutting a promo that's like really interesting, and then like the Elite comes out, and they're just like, like.
So, I mean, I'll get into it a little bit more. What kills me the most is that I feel like you see the same quote unquote spot multiple times throughout the show, where like you'll have a match, and then a faction will come out and watch from the ramp, and then 2 matches later you have the same thing, and then it's like, just think of a new way to do it. That's all. Yeah, or just have it clean. Like, you don't need to keep showing the audience that these people have a beef. Like, we know. We're fans. We know. Yeah. But like, when you see it every time, it just kind of gets annoying.
I understand that. That is a very WCW way of, like, you know, booking. You know, like, if you think about it, like when like the Wolfpack and like the fucking, like, I don't know, the LWO were going at it, you're just like, it's like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I understand. Or like, you know, do like what they do with Don Callis when Kenny Omega's like have one of them on commentary. You know,
or like I noticed yesterday, was it Dynamite yesterday, where I guess maybe the announcers don't truly know what's happening, or like, or what.
JR just doesn't care,
or something. But something happened like that, where it was the Good Brothers came out with someone else.
With the Young Bucks.
With the Young Bucks.
It was the Super Elite.
Yeah, and JR was like, "Oh, look at the Young Bucks get in front of the Good Brothers, so nothing happens. You know, there's not going to be any, like, no one's going to attack anyone." And then all of a sudden, Forced Suicide dies, and JR's like, "Wow, shit."
Yeah. Like, I feel like that is the one thing that I do understand from like a Jim Cornette kind of school of wrestling, where like, not every match has to have a suicide dive. Not every match has to have a big spot. Like, you can have very compelling, very slow, brooding matches. Like, you know, with, like, holds and, like, you know, like an ankle lock here and there. Or, like, even, like, a crossface. Or, you know, like...
My biggest thing is, like, I want to save the payoff. Like, if you see the Good Brothers get attacked every fucking time, then when they actually have the match, you're not going to care, because you already know that, well, they got their asses kicked twice already. Yeah. But if you have them come out and nothing happens, and you keep wanting it to actually finally happen, so when they do have that big match and it finally happens and you beat them, you're like, fucking finally, yes. Yeah. Not like, oh, well, I mean, they kicked their ass 2 weeks ago, and the week before that, and the week before that.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with WWE's booking, in my eyes, too, is that they give you the match every fucking time, multiple times before a pay-per-view. And they're like, this, like, fucking, Sheamus versus... Damian Priest. Like, they did that like a bunch of times, and then they were like, now it's for the championship. It's like, fuck.
Also, like, the other thing, if we're going on like what we don't like, I know we're getting into the negative side of wrestling real quick, but just like real quick with WWE, another thing I don't like is like this whole like championship qualifier. It's like, or the other thing I really don't enjoy is like they never truly treated Nikki ASH as a champion. She always came out first. Where, like, in every other championship match, the champion comes out last.
That's actually a WWE thing. They kind of started the champion coming out last thing.
I did not get that, man.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, on old WWE shows, they would have the big shows up front, and then have the... Because they wanted to get you from the jump.
Yeah, so they'd have the champion come out first.
And then you would have, like, Junkyard Dog versus, like, Hacksaw at, like, the end of the night. You know, but anyways, yeah. So, yeah, that was great. Thanks for watching. No, I'm just kidding.
Get into. I guess we can get into the Summerslam card.
Yeah, let's go through the cards. So let me pull up the results here. So on the pre-show, we had Big E defeated Baron Corbin by pinfall in 6 minutes and 35 seconds. What did everybody think of that?
Fine.
I mean, it was fine.
Big E got his case back. You know.
Yeah, I definitely thought something would happen with that case. I don't know when they're going to pull the trigger with it, or if they will.
Yeah, I mean...
I guess we'll see.
I thought it was fine. You know, that's the best way to put it. I thought the opening match was great. RK Bro defeating AJ Styles for the Raw Tag Team Championships in 7 minutes. That match felt like it went on forever in a good way. It was only 7 minutes long, but it was like a very story-driven
very
match.
good opening match.
Yeah.
Not the best match, but it was good.
Yeah. And then...
I give it
RK
3
Bro.
stars.
Yeah. This next match, again, thought it was great because I won some points. Alexa Bliss defeated Ava Marie in 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
That was fucking terrible.
Not a lot of spoopy shit went on.
I mean, I'll give you that, but Ava Marie does not deserve to be in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, like she got fired and then they brought her back. It's like she's a John. You can tell she's John Laurinaitis hire.
I mean, she doesn't know what she's doing. She stands here like a deer in the headlights, and then Alexa had to like walk her around the ring. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather have like her. If Eva Marie's gonna wrestle anybody, I'd much rather have her wrestle like Natalia or like somebody that can like carry like a female version of Bret Hart. Like somebody that can like carry somebody through a match. And
I'm over the whole Alexa Bliss thing. I want her to go back to like
being Harley Quinn.
Yeah, no, not even that. The old one.
Oh, like the original,
yeah.
the whole like, hey, like I'm a cheerleader type thing, and like not breaking her arm.
That
like,
fucking doll is the stupidest
it's
thing I've
just
ever
dumb.
seen.
When that doll winked its eye, I was just like, okay, I'm out.
The amount of people I saw buying that fucking thing though was insane. So
I think that's the thing with it is like it's
they
a
make
merch
so
pusher.
much money.
Like you could just slap like an Alexa Bliss sticker on a Red Bull can, and people would pay $45
I mean,
for it.
the amount of like goth girls that buy that shit.
I mean, dude, I haven't
But
stepped foot in a hot
I mean,
topic in a
but it
long
is.
time. But like,
It's
dude,
like-
it's the Nightmare Before
Yeah.
Christmas of this generation. Like,
Do they still have Fiend merch?
Yeah, they were selling the belt. They were selling all kinds of shit.
yeah, like it's still you can still buy all
But
that shit on the website.
they confiscated a Fiend poster.
I saw that.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like this really well drawn out like Fiend thing, and then it had like paint, like hurt and heal, like it was like almost like a biker patch.
It was the Raiders logo.
Yeah, it was that's what it was.
pretty
Yeah,
badass.
and it was, and they got it taken away, and it's like, so you're selling the merch,
It was pretty dumb.
and you're gonna let people have Bret Hart signs and Stone Cold signs, but you're not gonna let you own the IP. Just put somebody in the fucking mask. Like, I don't get it. But anyways.
I mean, I wouldn't want that.
I mean, neither would I, but I mean, they did have fake Diesel and fake fucking Razor. Thanks, Kane. Damian Priest defeated Sheamus to win the U.S. Championship 13 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm here for Damian Priest.
I'm all about Damian Priest.
I used to hate Damian
Me
Priest
fucking too.
when he was in
Ring of
NXT, and like when he did
No thanks.
I hate the whole Arrow thing, but like him being all like, yo, like I'm friends with Matt Riddle because he is friends with Matt Riddle in real life, and like he's gotten really good on the mic, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
His
Like,
promo skills have been really good.
yeah, a lot.
And for some reason, I love Sheamus. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but I
don't get
do.
that.
There's just something about him where
Fucking
you're
hate
like
that dude.
watching him and you're like, God damn, this guy is good at getting you to fucking hate him.
I
Like,
think it's just because he's so big and powerful. And I watch him, like he just looks like he could kill you.
and he moves too.
Yeah,
Like
he
like
moves
that's,
well for a big guy.
yeah, that's. I never realized how big he was until he was standing in the ring with Damian Priest, and they were like eye to eye, like, and Sheamus was like girthier than
Yeah.
like Damian Priest. I was just like, fuck, this guy's gonna die. Like, that was crazy. Your thoughts on it? Anything?
I love Damian Priest now, and I like how they're like already putting him up against Bobby Lashley. I mean,
Yeah.
what a good way to like elevate him as a talent.
Yo,
Damian
how
Priest.
fucking cool would it be if Damian Priest beat Bobby Lashley for the WWE Heavyweight Championship, and then fucking denounces it and is like, the United States Championship is the real championship? That'd be fucking sick. That's like when Shane Douglas threw down the NWA title and declared the ECW title the real title. Woo! Talk about throwback.
Oh, I don't know, man. But
Yeah,
I would like to see him have both titles. I think that'd be cool.
Like a double champion.
And I think if you're using Raw as, since NXT's kind of like doing this weird fucking switch right now, if they use Raw as more as a developmental brand in the eyes of the casual viewer, then
I mean, SmackDown is definitely the
that's the
Asian
top,
top
right?
brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that is now like I feel
yeah,
like
and it's on Fox. I mean, that's the big one.
it's the free show, but I feel like what they could do with Raw. So like, Adam Blappier did this thing like a while ago, like what they should do with Raw, and I felt like this is a great idea. Where like the first 2 hours from like 8 to 10 are just like it's like your regular weekly Raw, and then the last hour they show like classic wrestling matches or like something for like the older wrestler to watch like while they're like going to bed or like finishing their beer or something like that. It would also be very cool to like kind of like what they did with Raw Underground, how the last hour of Raw was Raw Underground, if they use that to be like the developmental thing or like something like that.
Yeah.
That would be very cool, like a very ingenious way to get 3 hours out of a 2 hour show.
Yeah, I'd be in for it.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 hours for Raw is it's a lot. It's
terrible.
exhausting.
WrestleMania used to be 3 hours long. Like,
Yeah, but I could do WrestleMania in 3 hours. I can't do
remember when
7-hour
WrestleMania was 10 hours a couple of years ago? That was fucking crazy. But anyways,
fucking do it.
continuing, trying to stay positive here.
Positive.
The Usos defeated Rey Mysterio and Dominic in 10 minutes and 50 seconds. We won points.
Yeah, I mean,
You lost points.
I mean, it was okay. It wasn't 2.5 stars.
It wasn't a barn burner, It wasn't.
I mean, I do like kind of how they're starting to split up Ray and Dominic.
like having them implode.
Yeah, because Dominic kind of keeps making them lose these tag matches.
How cool would it be if like Dominic was like, "You're not my real dad. Eddie's my dad." Ooh, and he comes out with blonde hair.
I wonder if Dominic's going to retire Rey Mysterio. I wonder if that's like the end plan.
I think that's kind of. I mean, that actually not a bad idea, but I think that's kind of the whole thing is that Ray is now starting to push his son
towards like his spot.
Yeah, well, Ray's gonna retire and get away from him, but it was a good way for Dominic to learn and get a lot of in-ring action.
Like I hated Dominic when he first debuted. Now I'm like, I kind of get it. Like
he can hold his own. He's
Yeah.
fine.
He's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio is only 46 years old. That's great. He's born in
46.
1974.
1940?
1947. 1974. That's crazy.
How old's Dominic?
Dominic is like 24. Dominic.
See, I feel like he's older than I thought he was.
He looks super
He
young.
looks like he's like 12.
Dominic is 24 years old. He's born in 1997.
He's as old as Jungle Jack Perry,
Yeah.
who is also 24. I just looked that up.
Yeah. My battery's about to die, so let's go through these.
I mean, I have it on my phone.
Yeah, so again, thought that match was great. This is the match that really pissed me off. So until even the fucking morning of SummerSlam, they were saying Bianca Belair is going to wrestle Sasha Banks. Even though, like, Ringside News, Wrestle Talk, What Culture, everybody is saying Sasha Banks is not going to show up. And I thought about swapping her out for somebody. But then I was like, that's not going to take effect until you can't do it the during the show. And then we had the return of Becky Lynch defeating Bianca Belair in 26 seconds.
I think that's where the problem was for me. It wasn't about Becky taking the belt, but it was definitely the amount of time.
She was out there for 7.5 minutes, and then she beat her in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I have mixed emotions on it. One, I think the Dirt Sheets ruined that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because when you're announcing that she's not going to be there and WWE is still saying she's going to be there, then you kind of know that WWE is planning for a return, right? That's kind of why they're doing it.
I didn't think it was going to be a Becky Lynch return,
I mean,
honestly. I thought they were going to have, like, Carmella or somebody come out. And,
as soon as I heard, like, people, like, when someone was telling me that, like, oh, they've been saying it for, like, weeks now, because I don't pay attention to that shit. And I was like, oh, they've been saying it for weeks now, and WWE is still saying it's happening, then it's more than likely Becky coming back.
Apparently
I
they
bet
got
it's a COVID thing.
Apparently
probably,
they
that
bet
pulled
the
trigger on it.
they got the shirts and everything like 2 days before. That's why the shirts weren't as like big as quality. It was just like the man is back, like really small instead of it being like like the regular shirt. But then the other thing I heard is that Vince wanted her to come out as a face and she wanted to come out as a heel. Again, that's just what the sheets are saying. I don't know. But
I mean, I think she came out as a face.
And then turned heel.
I think she only turned heel because no one liked the way that it was booked. I think if the way that it was booked went over well, then they would have gone into it as her just being a face. But they shifted because no one liked the way it was booked, so they changed the direction of it all.
Yeah, I feel like I can't wait. I mean, I'm gonna be camping tomorrow, so I'm definitely gonna be on my phone watching like some fucking death metal band like in the crowd, just like on my phone with my AirPods in.
Because
like
the pop was huge, and she came out and it was like, "Yeah, let's do this." I mean, I get what they did and why they did it. I just would have wished that they just would have made Bianca look a little stronger because she was the champion.
What are your thoughts, Sammy?
Why didn't they like have Becky Lynch use like a steel chair or something, like something that would really incapacitate her,
because then that would have been a heel thing, and that's why I don't think they wanted her to be a heel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
You're speculating here?
I'm speculating the whole thing, but like watching it live, I was like, oh, well, they're going for the whole. I trained for Sasha, and now Carmella's out here, so my focus was on Carmella, and then all of a sudden Becky's here. I wasn't ready for Becky, and she hit me out of nowhere. I stepped on the banana peel kind of bullshit, which is what they were trying to go for, but no one bought it.
Yeah, it was bad.
I not gonna lie, I took a little snooze during this match. Drew McIntyre defeated Jinder Mahal in a singles match.
Yeah, this is the
4
match.
minutes and 40 seconds.
This is the match that I got up and tried to find popcorn and got really mad that.
Hey, Sammy, come here. Stop talking to the guy that's allergic to you.
That's fine.
Come here. Yeah, she's.
So yeah, I came back for the end of it. Whatever. I don't care about Jinder Mahal.
Oh, technical difficulties. There we go. It's fine.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't give a fuck about Drew McIntyre.
No,
I'm kind of over it.
He did well with the championship during COVID.
Yeah, I think he's a good wrestler. He's just.
Yeah.
I mean, you already have Sheamus, and I like Sheamus. I'm not gonna like two of the same fucking thing.
That's a good way to put it because they are the same fucking thing.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, they both talk like this.
Both really big dudes from the UK who kick people in the head.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and why is Becky Lynch called Last Kicker? They're all kicking. That's their whole gimmick. Is just.
But she's Irish. Mr. McGelly.
Well, so Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus is Irish.
Yeah, I know, but Sheamus was. This is a fun fact that I like to keep in the pocket. Might bring it up for trivia if I were hosted again, which means I have to lose the belt, which I'll never see happening. Foreshadowing. Sheamus was Bono's bodyguard in real life, and he used to be a bare knuckle boxer.
Bono was.
No, Sheamus. Bono has glaucoma.
I knew he was a bare knuckle boxer. I didn't know the Bono thing. I guess that makes sense. There's not many people that big in Ireland.
When we went to Ireland, everybody was like this tall, and I was just like, "Oh, you want to fight me, laddie? Like, come on,
laddie."
Like, yeah."
I will say though that pop for Becky was insane.
Yeah, they let it go on.
Yeah, and then she didn't run down there either. She walked, right?
Walked.
Yeah, she walked the whole time. Like that was. I could see. You can look back, they say hindsight is 20/20. You look back and she didn't really slap anybody's hand or anything like that like she used to. Like she just walking down there just being like, "Look at me! Ha ha! I had a baby!" That's my Irish accent. I had a baby.
I was told they weren't allowed to slap hands.
Oh, that makes sense.
I thought Nikki ASH was slapping a base.
And they may have, but I was told from someone that they're told to not do it.
Were people around you wearing masks?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
There was a guy. There was a bunch of security guards walking down and telling everyone to wear masks.
Damn.
So you're just it was like when you're at the O's game, you're like...
Yeah, you had to drink it and put it right back up.
Yep, that's crazy. I mean, understandable, but yeah. So next up, speaking of Nikki ASH, we had Charlotte Flair defeated Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley for a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship in 13 minutes and 4 seconds. Oh, by the way, the Drew McIntyre-Jinder match was 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, it was fucking stupid.
Yeah, so what did you guys think of that match? I thought it was pretty entertaining.
I mean...
We all had a dog in the fight, too. No, that is not meant to be derogatory at all, either.
I'm never going to be mad at Charlotte winning the belt because Charlotte is just probably the best female wrestler. So
I just don't like her character.
Yeah.
Which is, you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I wish Nikki ASH would have went over better as a whole, but now people fucking hate her.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. I mean, so
Sucks.
I get why they shifted on that because I mean, I liked it, but I mean, man, once you get a bunch of drunk nerds telling you it sucks,
Yeah.
they were booing her. Like I felt bad. Like they had to do it.
Yeah,
It was just gonna get worse if they kept it going.
I also thought she was really fucking good in that match too. Like, you know,
She's good.
like watching like Nikki AS, like, because before that she was in a tag team with Alexa Bliss, and like that was it. And she was like the crazy like coffee friend. And her character in fucking NXT was that she was unhinged, and like I thought it was I never really noticed how good of a wrestler she was until that match, and I was like, fuck, she's great.
Yeah.
Like, she was.
Well, and I think that's what's cool about wrestling is that like you take a character and you go, you know, for this character I don't got to do a lot to get the point over.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're something different, like she went from a crazy gimmick where you don't got to do much of anything but just be crazy, to an actual trying to have hope and fight and have big hope spots and stuff like that, which is completely different than being a heel because you just beat up people. It shows what you can actually do in the ring, and
Yes, I also thought Rhea Ripley put on a really good show too. I mean, she's always great.
she's great.
Yeah,
Now she's in a tag team.
Yeah, she's still kind of green. Like you can tell she gets kind of confused at points.
yeah. There were a couple. I remember watching a couple times. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? Where like Charlotte had to like move her leg or something like that, and I was just
Or
like,
like she'll like look around and then she'll kick someone and be like, all right, we're doing this now.
yeah, it's like
I didn't notice that.
So it happens, but
yeah.
she'll be champion soon.
Again,
Yeah.
yeah. It was
I
great.
forgot that she was. a little bit.
They should move her over to SmackDown, honestly. Like, I think she'd do really well on SmackDown. Next up, we had a match I literally could not give a fuck about. Edge defeated Seth Rollins by submission in 21 minutes and 15 seconds.
My favorite match of the night.
That was 5-star match.
I don't know
That
how
had
you did
that had
like it.
everything.
I mean, I liked Edge's entrance. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I was like, this push just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand why they're going after each other. Also, at this point, I was like falling asleep. Like, we're getting to like 11:15 at this
How would
point.
you had watched it again?
Yeah, you may wanna.
Yeah.
It was pretty
It
solid.
was pretty solid.
Yeah. I also was like completely. This was my first wrestling pay-per-view in like a very long time where I was like completely sober. So I'm just like, I can't even let my brain like run wild with like, you know.
I was insanely sober. It was quite disappointing.
How are you, Brendan?
Oh, very sober for the past year and a half.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man.
Next up, another match that really fucking pissed me off because it was my guy.
Can we go back to that match?
Yeah, let's go back to Edge and Seth Rollins. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna get up and turn the lights up a little bit.
yeah, we
but
may
yeah,
need
but
that.
you guys talk because I don't care.
Well, you can still hear us.
Yeah, I know. Talk
That,
amongst yourselves. What else do you think it's
that spear into a... Can I have some water?
Yeah.
That spear into the pedigree.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That was a
Maybe-
great match. That was a great spot.
It takes a lot for me to like jump out of my seat and go ooh and ah in wrestling, and that made me fucking lose my mind.
They're both really
It
fucking
looked
athletic.
so good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And just like all like the nostalgic spots was just really kind of cool.
yeah, they hit every button for me.
Yeah.
I was sitting there the whole time, really into it. Definitely favorite match of the night. I don't know what you're talking about, Andrew.
Yeah, watch it again.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna cross over to this other thing. Have you watched Heels yet?
I watched the first episode. It's not that good.
No, it's not. But that one guy reminds me of Edge. Like same body shape and
Speaking of heels, I watched the second episode, and I'm not gonna watch the third.
Yeah, it's bad.
I watched the second one and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I wanted it to be good.
I like Stephen Amell too. He was the Green Arrow. I loved it.
His acting's really bad.
But yeah, this next match, fucking terrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch that Edge Seth match because
Sure.
I forgot about that pedigree spot. That was a great spot. Yeah, this next match, 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Bobby Lashley defeated Goldberg via referee stoppage, so no points for anybody.
Every fucking move of this match was horrible. Like Goldberg is so bad, and then the ending was wonky with his son.
The only thing I can even think of is that Goldberg wasn't going to put him over.
Going to put Bobby over?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he went into business for himself, or he just said, like, that stop, like, I'm not going to fucking do this? Like,
I feel like he kind of has Hulk Hogan pool, where it's like, you're paying me to come here, I'm going to do this, or I'm not doing it.
Yeah, he even said, like, in an interview, he's like, yeah, I only got 2 matches left. And then, like, he's not, like, you're scheduled for this amount of years. He's like, you're scheduled for 15 matches.
Goldberg doesn't like to lose.
Yeah. I mean, he won, like, what? Like, he had, like, a winning streak of, like, 550 matches or something over 2 weeks.
But, like, for the love of God, like, if you know the whole angle of the match is that MVP's going to hit you in the fucking knee with his cane, and then we're going to work the knee to the point that you can't walk on it. When that spot comes up and you're getting hit with the cane, you better fucking react to it. He didn't fucking react to it at all.
He didn't. Until like 10 seconds after, he's like,
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, because I was like talking to Becky and she like laughed at that thing because this is her first WWE experience other than WrestleMania, and then I think like the Royal Rumble when we were all like sitting on the couch here. But, like, she's like just watching WWE. She's just watching the pay-per-views, and then she's like, this is one of the biggest fucking matches, and then you have somebody that's like super excited about it, and then she's laughing at it. I was laughing at it too, and I was like, motherfucker, like, give me some fucking points, like, you know. But at the same time, like, I remember that Kane spot now because MVP smacked him. He took like 10 steps and then was like, oh, my knee gave out. Like, and you're just like, dude,
it was terrible.
Come the fuck on. Are we done with that? Because I'm getting a little riled up here.
I mean, I just don't understand what the fuck the point was.
It wasn't a good build-up.
No.
There was no payoff. There was nothing. Like, what? Like, fucking... What? Go, hide your cup. She's gonna knock him up. Oh, she's just sitting there.
She wants some camera time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Welcome to the Pussy Cam.
So this is our producer, somebody Mariah Houston. She's saying we're doing a great job.
You're doing a good job, man.
Yeah, she's giving us head nods. That's the thing she does.
I don't ever want to see Goldberg again.
Yeah, I'm kind of done. Like, I mean, nobody should, like, if he gets released and AEW hires him, I'm gonna be like, I'm fucking done. I don't think they would, though.
There's not a chance in hell.
No chance.
I did like when he came back for the the Brock Lesnar shit. Back like what, 5 years ago?
2 jackknives and a spear or whatever.
Yeah, I was fine with that because I was like, oh, this is like making up for the WrestleMania, like,
or the Saudi Arabia thing.
Nah, that bad match they had when they both left WWE back in like the early 2000s.
Like 05 or whatever. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Bobby and Goldberg is happening in Saudi Arabia, which was kind of the point of that.
They should just stop going to Saudi Arabia. But
yeah, oh fuck that commercial, dude! I got so mad.
Everyone did.
I haven't seen the commercial.
When they played it in the arena, everyone was like, "Fuck this shit!"
It's happening again.
Do you see what's going on?
We need to have more people on the ground like Nick. We need to get the crowd reactions. So finally, the headlining match. I fell asleep during this match, but I woke up. I'm an old man. I thought it was great. It was Roman Reigns defeated John Cena by pinfall. 23 minutes. If Raymond's lost, he would have to leave WWE. So you knew he wasn't losing.
I think everyone knew.
Yeah, but at the same time, I thought it was a decent match.
I thought it was a good match.
It was good.
How'd the crowd react to it?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like
how the new Cena intro was fucking fantastic.
Yes.
Oh,
the Mario,
yeah,
and then all like the 18-bit or the 8-bit fucking belts.
That was cool as shit.
Yeah,
I wish he was still going, but I think he's done for a while.
I think this was just like a one-time thing.
I don't know. I thought he had like a couple of matches left. I don't know.
We'll see.
Because they were calling it the summer of Cena. But in the summer ain't over until my birthday next week. So I thought this was great.
It was good. I love the story behind it. How Cena was just going for like schoolboys and roll-ups because the whole thing was like all he needed to do was get to 3, Doesn't matter how he got the 3 as long as he gets the 3.
Yeah, like, and then the promo on SmackDown 2 nights before, or the night before, was awesome.
And this was like a good match for someone who like wants to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
To see how they did a whole lot of nothing for like 15 minutes, and it felt like they were doing a lot, and it built up to that big table spot and stuff like that. They just teased moves.
It was a great storytelling match. Like that is the perfect explanation when somebody's like, how do you tell a story in a wrestling match? That. There were a lot of just like almost spots, a lot of holds, a lot of just like old school moves.
Yeah,
there
was a lot of teasing, like, oh, he didn't hit it, like he got out, and then like everything just built up to him finally hitting the FU on the table.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was fucking awesome.
At the end, though,
and
I was just like, when's Brock Lesnar coming out? And then fucking...
You want to hear something fucking hilarious? I heard the music, and I was like, oh, shit. And Becky goes, who's that? And I was like, I have no fucking idea. Because I totally forgot that Brock's music... Because I knew it was like... And I was just like... In the back of my head, it was Brock Lesnar, and then on my tongue, I was just like, I don't know.
Like when me and Dan were walking to the arena, he's like, so do you think they're going to, like, have, like, a surprise to kind of, like, one-up CM Punk? I was like, if it's anyone, it's going to be Brock, because he's probably here for the fucking fight already.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, he's in town.
He's in town? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that storyline will be interesting because of Paul Heyman.
It's great.
Yeah.
And I think he looks fucking terrifying. The beard and the ponytail.
The man bun.
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking onion. It looks like a golden onion.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
He looks like Bailey's emoji.
Yeah. I feel like because we do have like John Cena like leaving, so you have to bring in like one of those people, and I feel like as much as I talk shit on Brock Lesnar holding the belt hostage for 18 months, I feel like this is a different Roman Reigns you have face Brock Lesnar going against heel Roman Reigns, or even like just two dudes just being like, we have a history together. Then again, like, I don't fucking know.
I mean, what I think is going to happen, I think Reigns is going to beat Brock. Reigns' head is going to skyrocket, and he's going to basically disown the family, the Usos and shit, and that's when The Rock's going to be like, well, fuck you, you can't disown this family.
Ooh.
And then he's going to come and set him straight.
Lay the SmackDown, book him a room at the SmackDown hotel.
That's how I think they're trying to
book
book
a can
it.
of whoop-ass.
He beats Cena, he beats Lesnar, and like the two biggest names in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's just like, no one can fucking beat me now.
And then imagine if imagine if he shows up in AEW and then beats CM Punk. That'd be crazy.
I think that's half the reason. I think I've said it before, but half the reason they're laying off people is to make that money open for The Rock. Because I mean, they gotta pay him a fuck ton. That dude is worth a lot.
He's worth a lot of money.
He's also just a great guy.
He is. I feel like he would probably only do something for Vince. He probably wouldn't wrestle anywhere unless it was for Vince.
Yeah, like he's not going to do like the Jericho, where like Jericho was like, I'll only wrestle for Vince in America, but I am going to wrestle in New Japan. And then he shows up at the AEW press conference.
I mean, it's crazy to think that Rock only wrestled for like 6 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then remember when he wore the shirt? When he used to wrestle in like the Rock like football like athletic shirt. When he was beating the shit out of Mankind with the chair.
Oh,
he's wearing a shirt
jacket.
No, he had a shirt.
Track jacket.
It was a track shirt.
Okay, track.
Yeah, but because there's no buttons. And it was a short sleeve.
It was like a '90s like old school.
It was like a FUBU shirt.
Yeah.
Type. It was like one of those like it was like football jersey type material. But anyways. Fun fact, he had that because he had breast reduction surgery.
Oh, I didn't know.
He had man boobs?
Yeah, he had man
that's
boobs.
right. He did have like crazy.
And it was from some medicine he was taking or something. I don't think it was.
Well, I mean,
steroids.
Man boobs comes from estrogen.
Yep.
So
I have estrogen.
I have a lot of estrogen. My A's went to a B real quick in quarantine. So overall, what would you guys give this pay-per-view? Like,
Out of
how many Bryans would you give it? I'd give it 3.5 out of 5 Andrews.
I'll give it 3 Bryants.
How many Nicks is it getting?
It's gonna get 3.5 Nicks.
Yeah, like I thought it was overall it was just above okay and below good for me. It was like in that teetering point.
It was a little longer than I wanted it to be, and it had some moments that I wasn't thrilled about. But I think for the most part, it's set up a lot.
Yep. If they just chopped that last hour off, if it didn't go to, if it was 7 to 11 instead of 7 to 12, like I thought it would have been pristine. And
Was it worth the travel?
Yeah, I had fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely want to do all the big ones. So
There's,
Yeah.
I think for like my 35th birthday, which is not next week, next year, a year from a year and 1 week, 53 weeks have you. I want to try and do the big 4 in 1 year. Like I want to go to
Whoa.
Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Like I think that would be like the best, because I've never been to any. The only pay-per-views I've been to is Super Brawl 5 when I was like 8 years old. I went to Extreme Rules twice because that was like the one they always had in Baltimore. I've been to like Throwback Raw. You took me to Raw for my birthday a couple of years ago. We went to Raw for my birthday 2 years ago. It was actually on my birthday. It was a Monday.
I mean, those shows are fun. WWE does a very good job at the production side of things. So when you are at one of those big shows,
That's what I'm thinking. Is like I've never been.
you really get a cool experience.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I've never been like in like it's always been in an arena.
Yeah.
That holds like 10,000 people, and it's like there's no real stake. Like the only like real crazy one I went to I think it was Extreme Rules in Philadelphia when they had the Punjabi prison match, but we were so high up that we couldn't see shit through the fucking prison. Like,
Yeah, that thing was way too...
That thing was just terrible.
yeah, but anyways, yeah. So other than that, I think it was great. Draft was cool. I want to do another one. CM Punk was great.
It's been eventful in wrestling.
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of memes going around the wrestling meme world where they were like, this is the most wrestling in 1 week ever. Because you had
Oh,
Raw,
fuck yeah.
you had NXT, you had Dynamite, you had Impact, you had SmackDown and Rampage, you had SummerSlam, and then you had TakeOver. You literally had wrestling 7 straight days in a week. And if we could get that more often, I would be the happiest fucking man on earth. Like
It was a lot.
Oh, and we also had Ring of Honor too, like on just like a regular Ring of Honor show.
If WWE is smart, which I mean they usually aren't, but I mean I think,
Way to be negative, Nick.
but I feel like AEW is kind of forcing them to be better.
Yeah, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's really good. I also like it to bounce off of that. AEW is smart where they have 4 pay-per-views a year, and then the month that they're not having a pay-per-view, they have a pay-per-view kind of bill on a weekly show. You know, like where they had like Beach Break or whatever, or like when Jericho was doing his cruise, they had the one on the ship. Like it was like, and they aired it on TNT. I thought it was great.
Well, WWE is going to start doing stuff like that too. They're doing the Rolling Loud again.
I thought that was the dumbest shit though. Like, because those people there just did not give.
I think it was
fuck.
just a bad first try.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like in a whole, it's probably not a bad idea.
Like if they did,
I
I think if they did it at like like Ozfest or something, it would go over a little bit better. Like that crowd seems a little bit more interesting than like a crowd that's there to see like a hip hop show.
I think it depends on the hip hop, because I think there's a really big African American community that loves wrestling,
Yeah,
but they are a very certain type of African American, if that makes sense. Where like they're not like.
they're very nerdy, is what you're trying to say.
But like
Okay.
the comic book side of things,
Yes,
like those
yeah.
like the cosplayers and stuff, like they're really into it.
Mhm.
So like maybe not like Rolling Loud was a great.
Yeah, like it would be awesome. Like it, what they could back now. I'd like to take that back, not Ozfest, but if they did something that had like Comic Con,
Yeah,
or something.
I
or,
think something like that would go well.
yeah,
Like those sorts of like white people love fucking wrestling.
yeah, because they're rednecks.
I mean, something like a Warped Tour, like the punk community loves wrestling now out of nowhere.
I remember
Yeah,
when we used to
I know.
get made fun of for watching
Yeah.
wrestling on tour, and then
That
now
shit
like all
bugs
those
me.
fucking people are like, "Oh man, going to Raw next week. Anybody got an extra ticket?" And I'm just like, "Shut the fuck up, guy!"
if you-
That we toured with 3 years ago.
But if you put a wrestling ring inside of like Lollapalooza when Miley Cyrus is playing, no one's gonna give a fuck.
Yeah,
So,
I feel
you
like
know,
that's
like,
what
you just
that's
gotta
what
be
I'm saying.
smart
Like,
about where
yeah,
you
like
put it.
yeah, like now I kind of got the words in my head where like the bill did not match the performance. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to watch Da Baby and then see Bianca Belair beat the shit out of fucking Carmella. Nobody wants to see.
Well, no one's saying the baby anymore.
Or nobody wants to see like
They
Megan
not.
Thee Stallion. Like even though Megan Thee Stallion has gone on record saying like she grew up watching wrestling, and even Cardi B. Like if it was like Cardi B and then like Bobby Lashley beating up like I don't know like Goldberg or something like that would have been awesome. You know.
You know what I did realize? It may have just been where I was on the west side of the country, but the Hispanic community came out full force.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
That's
I
that's
didn't really.
They are a huge.
yeah. I mean, you have to think like a lot of like lucha is huge in Mexico, and it's not like like it's like like not to say like one's better than the other or anything. It's kind of like how like smaller towns in America love college football, and like that's like
And
all,
they don't watch like NFL.
and they don't watch NFL. Where like in Mexico and stuff like that, lucha is like in You Cannot Kill David Arquette. They have like instead of them like busking for money, they light will turn red and they have a fucking wrestling match like in the streets, and then they go and like ask for money. Like my mom and dad when they lived in Spain, they would see fucking lucha matches like all the fucking time over there because it was like. Every fucking week there was, like this guy's fighting this guy and like stuff like that. It was like crazy. Like I got into wrestling because my mom and dad like lived in Mexico and they lived in Spain and stuff, and they got really into like lucha shit.
So I guess the real moral of this podcast is that wrestling is the universal language of the people.
Yeah.
If I may
Brings
finish,
everyone together.
if I may finish on
It's very cultural.
on an anecdote real quick. When I was in high school, I really loved Rancid. And I used to listen. Lars Fredrickson had an internet radio show. It was essentially a podcast. And he said growing up in Campbell, California, they didn't have like a baseball team. They didn't have football. Nobody gave a shit about. They didn't have a college. Nobody gave a shit about high school football. But the one sport that they had that everybody loved was wrestling. Like whenever that was their home team was WWE.
That's
like,
cool.
And I think that's cool. And you see that in the CM Punk WWE documentary. CM Punk is sitting there like in his apartment, and he's like, "All right, well, gotta head out on tour with Madball now." And like he goes out and he gets in their van and they drive off, and that's how it ends. Like it's crazy.
He's a man of the people.
Yep. He's no longer the voice of the voiceless.
He has a voice.
But anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing us ramble and doing our social commentary on life. Make sure we are going to. I'm stopping by the post office tomorrow. I'm finally going to ship out those.
There you go.
Those things. I totally forgot because I have to ship out a
I don't mind
DVD.
doing that, too.
I got a box. I'm going to be at the post office anyways. It's great. Sorry, buddy. Still your champion. SummerSlam was great.
Champions.
I'm
CM
coming
Punk's
for
great.
it.
Dude, we gotta have somebody back on to host it again.
Yeah.
So the three
I'll
of us-
host
Yeah.
if we need another competitor.
I'm calling. You know what?
If
I'm
anybody
calling
wants
somebody
to come
out
in.
right now.
All right.
Calling out Max Williams, the original champion.
Ooh.
Come for this. If you want this, you're gonna get your ass ate.
Ooh.
Thanks for listening.
Ladies Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.